Welcome to Bandit's Keep Actual Play. I'm Daniel. We're continuing our original Dungeons & Dragons with Chainmail campaign. Using outdoor survival, the foxes, who had kind of a bad run the last time they went out in the field, are going to take another shot at it. It's been a couple of months. They've regrouped, got some new party members, well, more or less a brand new party, and they're going to try to take on that orc/ogre lair again.
All right. Elin's foxes. Well, it's been February since the foxes have gone out. If you have seen those episodes, you'll remember that the halfling was the sole survivor of that group. They moved on, the halfling that is, to take a break and kind of did some side questing, if you will. Got a little bit of a reputation and came back to find that Elin had basically recruited 8 more adventurers. They offered the post to the halfling again, but they got a better offer, let's say. And we'll find out about that soon. But the brave halfling is going to be off to different adventures. And we're going to start with a fresh crew here. 8 adventurers are going to leave from the top of the map here, seeking out the ogre/orc lair, where the defeat happened before, and the various treasures that are there. So they're going to move, 3 hexes a day because they're on foot. This is a brand new party, first level adventurers. And we'll talk about the actual party when we get to the dungeon, because Overland, it doesn't matter that much, right? So we're going to roll 2 dice here. The white die is going to be their navigation dice. The black one is going to be the encounter die. So let's begin. But they have 3 weeks ration as usual, and they are leaving on 5/22. All right, here we go. First day. Okay, navigation die 5. They're in the clear, so they're not lost. Encounter die 2, which means they're not going to have an encounter no matter where they go. So they can move 3 hexes, so let's get them lined up to where they want to go. 1, 2, 3. Okay, they are in the clear. Again, there's no encounter. I mark off a day's rations / a day travel, and we're good to go there. And we start the next day. Okay, that's unfortunate. So a 1 on the navigation die means that they are lost. So they set off in the wrong direction, something gets in their way, whatever it is, but they got to move 1 hex in a random direction. 4. Oh, 4 is straight down, which is actually where they were going to go anyway. So they move there, 1, and then they can turn at this point if they'd like, which they will. Well, they're not really turning because they're going into this thing. So 1, 2. So 1, 2, 3 total. Oh, I guess we discovered that these cost 2 now. So basically 1, 2, 3. They stopped there. They actually stopped on water, which is nice, but it doesn't actually do anything for this particular thing. And we have a 2 for the encounter die. On rivers, which is what I treat trails as, there's only an encounter on a 5 or a 6. So day 2, no encounter. Oh my God, they're lost again. Okay, so they're lost again. Even on the river, they're lost, which is bad. And that's a 5, which means they're probably going to have an encounter. Yeah, they're going to have an encounter no matter where they go. So let's roll to see where they go, though, because this could be bad, because the mountains take 3 hexes. So if they go into the mountain, that's all. They're not going to be able to move beyond that. 4 is straight down. Oh, actually good. So they stay on the path. So 1, 2, and they've got a little bit of a credit. Remember, we've had this happen before. In order to do that, I'm going to put a die next to them to remember they have like 1 extra move left. They are going to have an encounter, though, because on a 5 or a 6, they have an encounter. And again, even though I use the get lost thing for the river, I treat the encounter as mountains. So we're going to roll a d8. 7. 7 in the mountains, I believe, is a dragon. Yep, or a dragon type. So this is dragon type. 9. We're going to look under dragons, because again, it doesn't mean it's a dragon necessarily. It's a dragon type. Okay, wyverns. Well, wyverns are bad news. So we're encountering some wyverns. So the first thing we want to do, because I keep forgetting to do this, I'm just going to do it right away. We're going to roll surprise. So the white die is the characters, the black die is the wyverns. Okay, neither side is surprised, so that's good. Before I forget, I'm going to mark off the day, and then we're going to look at the wyverns for some more information. So wyverns, 1 through 6 wyverns can be here. Their speed is 24, which is more than twice ours, and there's a 60% chance this is their lair. So let's roll to see if it's their lair first. 87, it's not their lair. Let's roll a d6 to see how many, and again, we want a high number here. 4. Okay, there are 4 of them. That is 66%, which is good for us. but they are twice as fast as us, which is not good for us. So let's look at the evasion charts. Okay, so our group, because we have mules as well, it falls into this category, 4 to 9. There's over 60%, so we have a 70% chance to evade them. But because they are twice as fast as us, that's reduced by 25%. So we have a 45% chance to evade them. Let's hope that we do. 17, so we do. And because we evaded them, we don't have to move. Nothing else happens. It's basically like nothing happened because it's not their lair. So we're good to go, and the next day can happen. Navigation plus encounter dice. Okay, 2 means we're not lost. And remember that we have 1 extra point from yesterday, so we can actually move 2 hexes today. So 1, 2. Take that away. And a 4 on the river is no encounter. So another day goes by, and we're good to go. Just want to get out of here as quickly as possible. Okay, so again, we're on the river. We're going to check to see if we're lost. We're only lost on a 1. So we can move 1, 2, and that gives us an extra 1 for, I should probably put a 1 on, so it makes more sense. So we have an extra 1 for tomorrow. The black die, which is our encounter die, is a 2 on a river. That's no encounter. So that day goes by, and that's day 5. They have 3 weeks rations, so they're still doing good for food. They will have to hunt at some point, I'm sure. Okay, 6 for navigation. On a river, not lost. 4 for encounter is probably, well, it's definitely not an encounter because they're going to be in the same space. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4 is what they have. And what's interesting here is they ended on a spot with food. So I was talking about this. They can roll 2d6 times 2 days worth of rations they can pick up. Oh, wow. Okay. 24 days worth of rations. Okay, good. Now, of course, there's 8 of them, which basically amounts to 3 days. Cool. All right. And that's the end of that day. All right. Next. Okay. Navigation die 6, not lost. Again, now going into the plane where we can move the full 3. So 1, 2, 3. That's good for them. We are, I'll mark a day off. Encounter die 4 in the plane, no encounter. Okay. Okay, navigation die 3 in the plane, we're not lost. 1, 2, 3. We can't actually get onto that because you have to go this way to get onto it. So we're going to go there. Encounter die, we're in the plane, is a 1, so no encounter. So we're good there. The day goes by. Getting close. Of course you say that, right? So navigation die 1, we're lost. We move in direction number 1, which is this way. And then we can then move the regular movement after that. So we're going to go 2 like that. We are ending on food, which means if we don't get driven off, we're going to be able to hunt again. However, we have to check to see what our encounter is because we're on a river. We're actually on a river this time. And we got a 6. Let's see what we got. 4. All right, river 4. Lycanthropes. Man, lycanthropes are everywhere. Okay, so I've encountered a lot of lycanthropes, so I kind of know the deal. We're going to see, well, first of all, let's see if anybody's surprised. Oh, we are. So we're surprised, which means we cannot evade. We basically have to move 1 square or 1 hex in a random direction. Before we do that, though, I want to see if this is their lair. I'm not going to bother anything else except for the lair, because that's what's important. So the 15% chance is their lair. 61, it's not. Okay, so we must now move 1 hex in a random direction. 2. Yeah, okay, that's not good. 2 puts us back up here. And a day goes by. We didn't get to hunt for the food. And at this point, the next day, we lost half our movement because basically you got to rest half a day. And you're supposed to have an extra encounter on that half day you're resting. But I think, let me look at that again. Okay, so I think in this case, I kind of ran it wrong when I did it before, I think. It says, for each hex moved in pursuit, a party must spend 1 half day resting. Remember, a day equals 1 turn. During a day, at rest, 2 dice are thrown for determining if wandering monsters are encountered rather than but 1. So what I interpret that to be saying is that if I had to rest for the whole day, I wouldn't roll. So the same way I'm rolling 2 dice now, 1 to see if I'm lost, 1 to see if there's an encounter, I would just roll both those dice and they'd both be to see if there was an encounter. So since I am going to be able to move, I'm not going to worry about that. So here we go. I did mark it off though, right? Yep. Okay, so 2 means I'm not lost. 4 means there's probably not an encounter based on where I'm going. I can only move half my movement, so we'll just call that 1, and then tomorrow I'll give myself an extra point. So we're in the plane. There's no encounter. Another day goes by. Okay, let's hope we can roll better now. See, that's what happens when I start getting confident. All right, 5 and 5. So 5 is definitely not lost. So 1, 2. Woods cost 2 movement, so I can't enter them. So I just have to stop there because I can't go anywhere but the woods, which is totally fine because I'll save that piece for tomorrow because we're going to need it. And also being in the plane is good because you only have an encounter in the, I keep calling it plane, but clear. You only have an encounter on a 6, so I don't have an encounter. Okay. Oh, right. You know what I didn't do? And I'm just going to do it now. You need to rest for 1 day for every 6 days that you travel. So I'm just about on, that's day 11, so I'm going to have to actually rest 2 days. So I'm just going to do exactly that. I'm going to roll in the plane. I'm going to roll 2 dice for encounters on the first day of rest. No encounter. I'm going to roll 2 dice for an encounter on the second day of rest. No encounter. So now we're actually on day 13. I caught up on all my resting. Now we can move forward. So I'm going to use up my, okay, 2. 2 means we're not lost in the plane. And I have 1 extra movement point, so I can move 2 hexes in the woods. So 1, 2 hexes. Tomorrow I'll be where I want to be if I don't get lost. 2, no encounter. That was day 14. Okay, and here we go. What we want here is the white die to be high and the black die to be low. All right, well, I got 1. So we're in the woods. 1 or 2 would be lost, so we're not lost. We can move on to the hex where the dungeon is, which is good. But we do have an encounter with a 6. So let's see what that encounter is, see if we get pushed off the hex or not. Put that there because we do have the extra movement point. And I'll cross off the day, actually. All right, so here we go. In the woods, we encounter 4 lycanthropes. Let's see if we are surprised or they're surprised. We're surprised. So we're going to have to move a random direction. 2. Okay. Back where we, no, 2 is this way. All right. And they are not twice as fast as us, because I've already determined that before. So they don't follow us, but that's that when the day is passed. But again, we have this extra movement point here. So we still can get what we need to get tomorrow, even if we rest half the day. So again, we're not going to have to roll twice. We just got to roll normally. Okay. That's what I wanted. 4 for navigation, which means we're not lost. 1 for encounter, which means there's no encounter. So on day 16, we get to the location we're going to, and then we'll delve the dungeon.
Thanks so much for watching. If you've been enjoying these solo plays, please do consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel. You can also check the show notes below. You're going to find all the different stuff I use for this game, and you'll find a link to my Discord server where you can sign up over there and join the conversation. There's also a link to my Patreon over there if you want to support the channel. I'll talk to you soon.